Hello, it's Doug from Behind Closed Doors, and today I'm looking at a video called What Makes Men Unattractive. Now, I'm doing some washing in the background, and I'm looking after some pets for some friends. So if you hear loads of noises in the background, that'll be why. Also, there you go, look, he's already starting to tweak up already. Also, I'm holding the phone with my hand because I ain't got a stand, so how much effort I put into all this stuff. Let's get into the video.
What's going on with men, because maybe some of these men are following Andrew. But if narcissism is the result of what we're doing,
I'm fed up of hearing that word narcissism. I hear it all the time now. I'm just fed up of it. It's a very narcissistic thing to do, to keep pointing out narcissism.
to women with our digital media and online, what's happening to our men?
Weakness. They are so afraid and of responsibility. They are so terrified.
No, they're not afraid of responsibility. They're afraid of the police, because feminism has hijacked the law. So the police are sexist, the family courts are sexist. It's illegal to be in a relationship with a woman because she can just lie at any time and will say that you emotionally abused her and take everything that you've ever earned away from you, and destroy your life and destroy your children's life and destroy your whole family's life. So I don't think they're afraid of that. They're afraid of the government, and how the government essentially simps or pimps or whatever you want to call them.
Terrified of self-control, and they have no desire to stop. Weakness. They are so afraid and of responsibility. They are so terrified of
They're not afraid of responsibility. They're not afraid of responsibility because that's why people like Andrew Tate and Jordan Peterson are hugely popular at the moment, because they've got a craving for responsibility. They want to have that position, but the government are fighting them for it. The government want to be the father. The government want to be able to castrate men and use feminism so that you have a single parent female society that raise children, and the government can come in and just take the children and tell them that they're women when they're not, they're boys. So it's not, it's men are just being made redundant. The jobs through technology, but in the family home through the government initiatives to get rid of the father.
control, and they have no desire to solve problems. So it creates a very, very weak man. And what I mean by this is there are men that...
No, men do want to solve problems. That's what makes them useful, and men desperately want to be useful because that's what gives their life meaning. We're like 34 seconds in, and this isn't going too well so far.
or is terrified of self-control, and they have no desire to solve problems. So it creates a very, very weak man. And what I mean by this is there are men that will essentially use their 20s as an extended adolescence. Back in the day, what men would do is use their 20s as a training ground for their future. So they would get their education, all go to wars, they would create a home, they would have their children, and that would be their focus for the rest of their life. Now I have to feed my family.
Yeah, I mean, I had my first child at 25. I established the career that I wanted by the time I was 23, and then I settled down with the child at 25 and started having a family.
Created the groundwork, and now I know where I'm going for the next 30 years. I'm going to make sure my kids go to school, my wife is fed, and this, that, and the other. And that the 20s would be that period. What we've done is taken the 20s of men and replaced responsibility with hedonism. So men are now told that 20...
No, the hedonism comes with the fact that, again, the government can just pull the rug out from underneath you. You don't even have to commit a crime because there's a criminal court and a family court, and the family court are aimed at destroying the family home. And the way to destroy the family home and hurt children the most is to get rid of the father. And that's what the whole government is geared towards. And one man can't go up against the whole government, or the family court, whatever you want to call it, the system. Like, even if you're Andrew Tate, the system will still come after you. And all it takes is for one woman to go, take him, he's a problem, and someone's life is destroyed. So it's what the nihilism comes in with. What's the point in building anything if you're all building it on a rug that the government can just whip out from underneath your feet at the behest of your partner and destroy everybody's lives. The game is rigged so that the family are destroyed. So the only winning move is not to play the game. So that's why people like Jordan Peterson and is having trouble with promoting the idea of the family home, even though he recognizes that the problems in the family court. He still thinks, oh no, it's just a few women. He doesn't realize how big of an issue it is. It's not safe to be in any relationship with a woman or to live with a woman, even if you're married or unmarried. It's just not safe to be around women because they're too dangerous. They have too much power in society because the government will just, they're basically like big simps, but they're not doing it for the because they love the woman. They're doing it for the power and control over the people. And the best way to destroy and break down the family home is to get rid of the father and to empower the woman to get rid of him.
And replace responsibility with hedonism. So men are now told that 25 is way too young to have kids. And even part of me, when I see a man that's 25 and married, I'm like, how did that, like, what went wrong? And it's because what we've done is we've created 20s as an extension.
Yeah, I never got married, but I did have my first child at 25.
Adolescence. We've accepted that a 25-year-old man will have no different of lifestyle than a 19-year-old man, because essentially he'll still be going out on the weekend, he'll still be having short-term mating strategies with sleeping with girls without even taking them on dates or without even considering marriage and kids. And
well, all mating strategies are short-term because we're only designed to live till about the age of 40. So it's only recently, because of antibiotics, it's doubled life expectancy to the age of 80. So all throughout human history, we had sex very young, we had babies very young, and it was very short term because we didn't live that long. So this whole long term and relationship thing, I just don't understand what people are talking about when they talk about, I want a relationship. Well, what is a relationship? I want long term. What is long term? We're not evolutionarily designed for it.
we've convinced them that marriage is terrible. We've convinced men that you know, just go on a bunch of holidays, just go and spend money, get in debt.
Well, marriage isn't terrible. It's just dangerous. In the same way that it's dangerous to not even just be married, it's dangerous to live with a woman. It's dangerous to be in a relationship with a woman. It's just because they have all the power. And the weird thing is that the women have all the power, especially when it comes to sexual selection and primary sexual selection. And they want to believe that they don't, because they want a man that's high value, that is a leader and will make her feel safe and secure and all that kind of shit. But she only wants that from the man that she's sexually selecting. So she's already given him the power. So she's already in control and has the power. So she's just delegating. She's just deluding herself.
During marriage and kids, and we've convinced them that marriage is terrible. We've convinced men that you know, just go on a bunch of holidays, just go and spend money, get in debt if you have to, move out from your parents as long as you've got your own place, and even if you're struggling to pay rent, that's better. Just waste your money, waste your efforts, just waste. Nothing is about investing into their future unless it's money. They don't think about, how do I take care of people? Now, men back in the day, their primary focus was,
well, they do. It's just that nobody cares about what they have to offer unless they're going to be taken advantage of. It's like men want to be useful, but they don't want to be used. So it's that kind of balance, in the same way that women want to have sex, but they only want to have sex with the man that they are in love with.
how do I provide and protect the people around me, particularly women around me? The average man, the young man, is not even thinking about providing and protecting. He's just thinking about enjoying. And
that's so presumptuous. This girl doesn't seem to know much about men. I mean, nothing so far as what she said has resonated. Like, that's not been my experience. And the guys that I associate with don't think like that. So I don't know who she hangs out with.
You know, avoiding responsibility. And I think the avoidance of responsibility limits a man's ability to become masculine. You will never be masculine until you have to provide for people. You'll never be masculine until you have to protect people. And what we've done is created a...
Well, how can you protect people against the government? How could I have Andrew Tate... Because Andrew Tate's a really great example. That's why I use him a lot in the videos. Because he's really positioned himself very well. in an anti-fragile state. He had multiple passports and residences and decentralized finance and multiple partners, and uh, he had a network of people. Like he set his life up very well in a short space of time, and they still got him. He was still in a Romanian prison for 6 months based on nothing, and then under house arrest for another 6 months or whatever. So if Andrew can't win, we're all pretty much fucked.
And who's those things. Fortunately, I think the main problem with men is weakness, and they allow women to walk all over them. They allow that a lot more than they would previously. I get that the culture is very terrified of women, but they tiptoe around it. They're scared to say an opinion. They're so fearful and weak that women are no longer attracted to them, and they are not getting that attraction from women. They stick to pornography or escorts or using prostitution because they essentially recognize that they're not a man that women would be attracted to.
Wow. All right. And
Yeah, I mean, what I say on this channel is don't worry about what she's thinking about. That's don't give a fuck about what anyone thinks or says about you, especially the girl that you fancy. Because you see, men can do this in most other areas of their life, but they struggle when it comes to the woman that they fancy. But the same is true for women with men. That's their blind spot, that's their weak spot. Because they won't take shit from loads of guys, and they'll use loads of guys. But when it comes to the guy that they love, because their pussy gets tingly and a little bit wet, they give them a free pass and they make bad decisions. This is why I think it's really good that when a girl's deciding to get with a guy, if she's got a father in her life, which she should have, then it's much more easier to help make the decision, because I think between the father and the daughter deciding who is the best mate, her sexual selection and his logical selection of who would be the best boyfriend slash husband for her, then I think that would be the best guy. That's kind of like a joint decision making process. Whereas if the woman's just going around just following, using a pussy like a fucking dick detector, metal detector, it's going to come up with false readings all the time, because what she's evolutionarily sexually attracted to isn't always what the best life partner is. Especially when sex is so intertwined with psychology, and if she's fucked up in the psychological department, then that's just going to affect the sexual selection that she makes, and she's just going to end up hurting herself. So yeah, and the same with guys, like with girls. I think guys should have girls on their side, their mothers or sisters or something like that, that's looking out for them in terms of who they decide to be intimate with.
the women like having that temporary power. So sometimes they're just like, I like this, and because everybody wants more power. So
Yeah.
again, short-term focused, it feels good to have some power over a man, but in the long term, you're breeding someone that is not going to protect your village, is not going to protect you, is not going to be the father of the children you want.
Yeah, it's so different to how we all like junk food. In the short term, it tastes great, but afterwards you feel shit, and you know your body will pay the price. Similarly, when you take a weak man, for the first moments you feel like you're on a power trip, and you feel loved, actually, that he caves into you, and you feel as a woman that he must really.
I don't like this idea of the weak man, because I think all men are weak in some ways and strong in other ways. In the same way that I don't like the idea of this high value man thing, because some men are high value in some areas and not others. So I think it's the same with like women. It's sort of like to just generalize in one thing. It's kind of, it's not helpful. I think it's better to just have weak and strong behaviors, let's say. You might hear the washing machine going off in a strong way, because it's a high value washing machine.
love me because he just listens to everything I say and he concedes to everything. So you start to have an inflated ego and you think, this is great, this feels like love, he really loves me because he gives into everything. Over time, you're pushing more and more because you're looking for the boundary. We all are. As human beings, we look for our boundaries. So she ends up pushing him more and more to the point where she starts to hate him because she doesn't feel safe around him and she can't see the stop sign. And we need stop signs. As human beings, we need it at work, we need it in the law, we need it in...
Yeah, and I think the weak behaviour in men is when a guy can't tell a girl to fuck off. Like, you got to be a nice guy that doesn't take shit. That's basically it. But again, like when it comes to people that we fancy, that is kind of overridden, and we overly care what they think about instead of being able to see things as they are and put firm boundaries down. And everybody likes to have boundaries.
Relationships. So what happens is that kind of ego boost turns into contempt. She starts to have resentment and contempt towards this man for being unable to make her feel safe and protected. So unfortunately, that weak man that initially you're thinking is great because he agrees with all your ideologies is later going to be the bone of contention, and you're actually going to go out and seek a man who's more toxic and more difficult and actually more who's punishing you because you've been craving boundaries. We all crave them, unfortunately.
It's fascinating. We all search for boundaries.
And isn't it fascinating?
Well, I don't think it's unfortunate. I think it's just necessary. It's just saying, oh shit, I'm dropping the phone. It's just saying what you're going to say yes to and what you're going to say no to. So if you just say yes to everything, then everything can come in and affect you, especially emotionally and stuff. And you need to be able to put boundaries down and what you say no to. So yeah, it's just, and I've used this analogy in many of these videos, and that's one of the reasons why this channel is called Behind Closed Doors, because it's sort of like I see that boundaries is a door, what you say yes to and what you say no to. If you have a window that's open, everything will constantly come in all the time and your house will get invaded. And if you have walls up all the time, then nothing will ever get in and you'll never have an exchange or connection with anything. So it's important to have doors in order to be able to interact with each other. And when the doors open, you're saying yes, and when the doors close, you're saying no. And you don't have to do it in a nasty way. You just sort of like, no, no thanks. I hope you find what you're looking for. I'm not interested. No. Well, if I don't like doing that, so if you like doing that, you're gonna have to find somebody else because I'm not going to tolerate that. Just let them know. Just be polite.
As a woman myself, but what we say and what we want are not in line, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is why I say you shouldn't listen to what a woman says, because they just lie, cheat, and deceive constantly. And I know that sounds a bit misogynistic, but I mean, people lie, cheat, and deceive constantly. I'd say the same thing to women about men. I say, well, don't trust them. They'll just tell you whatever they want to get you into bed. Like people lie, cheat, and deceive all the time. It's just that this is more kind of like advice towards men. So, but I'd say the same thing to my daughter. I'd say, yeah, well, don't trust it. I want to meet him because I'll get to decide if he's trustworthy. Because you know, it's difficult to see the wood through the trees sometimes because you can't see what's really going on. So yeah. So don't listen to what people say. Look at what they do.
We say we want them to accept our influence, but in the long run, we need to just trust their judgment. So we actually just want a man who trusts his own judgment, and we can let him lead us, and we know that he's not going to lead us off a cliff. Whereas,
yeah, but you want the man that you want to lead you, so he doesn't get a say in who you get to choose to lead you, if that makes sense. It's sort of like you're choosing your own driver. So he doesn't get a choice in that. A man's choice is always secondary, so he's never leading in a relationship. Women are always leading in the relationship, and that's the great lie. This is why, again, you can't listen to what women say, because they want to say, oh, I want a man that leads me so I feel safe and secure. But you chose him, so you're the one that's leading because you sexually selected. You didn't choose all the other men that would have probably been better for you because of fancying someone. Because you don't really want to be with somebody that you want to be a great leader to make you feel safe and secure. You want to be with somebody that you really want to fuck. So you can't. Which one's more important, being led or being fucked?
he's too soft and too weak. We don't. He's like an extra child for us.
Right.
And we have to raise him, and we don't.
And the
like
men are
it.
the same way, because we thought in the short term we want the super exciting, carnal woman that's out there, but in the long run, then we know that's just a nightmare.
Yeah.
And that she probably comes from something challenging and traumatizing, which we'll get to. But we don't really want that in the long run.
In the short run, it's great though for men.
I just base the whole thing on honesty, trust, and respect. If you're honest with people, then they have to respect you. And then if you have an honest, respectful relationship, then you trust that relationship. And the best relationships are built on a foundation of trust. So honesty, trust, and respect. And that's what a good friendship is. Whether you have that with siblings or your parents or a friend or a colleague or a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. If it's based on the idea of friendship, of honesty, trust, and respect, then you're not going to go far wrong, because the relationship will always have integrity.
They love that vixen kind of woman that keeps him on his toes because it's a challenge. And it's a way of like, if I can get her to submit, I've really achieved something, I've conquered something. And it's great for the male ego compared to a woman who's naturally very easy to conquer. But in the long run, it's soul destroying, because you can't actually get her to, you might fall in love with that woman that you actually can't secure, and it actually is very soul destroying for their ego. So we're very complex as human beings. It's like we're masochists. We love causing ourselves trauma.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking.
I think that's the end of the interview. Yeah, all right, cool. So go check out this lady's channel. It seems quite interesting. I'm not sure. I kind of agree with half of what she says and don't agree with the other half, I think. Yeah, so that's my reaction. Hello, my name is Doug, and I've created a video tutorial called What to Message a Girl for Online Dating Success. The reason why I've created this product is to help those men out there who are dating online but are not getting the replies or getting the dates that they desire. My product will teach you what to message a girl, what not to message a girl, when to message a girl, how to respond when you're not sure what to write, what to do if she doesn't reply, how to get her phone number, and how to communicate to get online dating success. If you're getting matches and no success, this product is for you. It's what you need to do today to start getting success with your matches. I'll also be talking about other issues such as how to spot red flags, identify time wasters, to stay out the friend zone, how to deal with ghosting, simmering and icing. Not only will I be giving you exactly what you need, copy and paste, I'll also be explaining to you the reason why I'm writing what I'm writing so you can understand the psychology and know what behaviours to look out for and which ones to avoid. This product is packed with value. I've tried to cram as much as I can into a short amount of time as possible while being the most informative. If you're a man and you're confused and frustrated with what to text with online dating, this product is the solution for you to get more dates in less time. Click the link in the description box below to buy the product and change your dating life forever.